Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley. Following yesterday's shocking news about Dead Space developer Visceral Studios being shut down along with their current work in progress Star Wars title being apparently totally redesigned away from a story-focused single-player game to games as a service, a couple of former employees are opening up about their experiences with the company. Dead Space 2 level designer Zach Wilson shared on Twitter yesterday that that game cost $60 million to make, sold 4 million copies, which is a lot of copies, and still failed commercially because of marketing spend. In addition to that, former Visceral Studios game director Scott Warner wrote he was sorry to hear of the closure and added, "We were set up for success and were defeated by forces beyond our control." Now, for what it's worth, he also says it's way more complicated than simply blaming EA for what went wrong, but I imagine we'll still be hearing about things coming out about this for several weeks at least. Nintendo of America might be getting stingier with review copies thanks to a little snafu with the recently released Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga game for the 3DS, which leaked online a few days ahead of release because of review copies. US Gamer writes that several sources have reached out to them about a change in Nintendo of America's policy regarding review copies, namely that they're changing up their internal processes and giving out fewer copies to review sites and influencers. This apparently went down because Nintendo downloaded the leaked ROM files of Superstar Saga, found the attached 3DS serial number. They know exactly who put that game online. Why Nintendo is making blanket changes rather than punishing that one offender is anyone's guess, but seems like the changes have already affected the distribution of Super Mario Odyssey's review copies in the US. Should be noted that these policies are being set by Nintendo of America specifically, so some smaller outlets here may not have their Super Mario Odyssey reviews up at the same time as everyone else. WWE 2K18 is another fall title that got released this week, but reviews are just now starting to trickle out a day after its launch. The updated wrestling game only has around 14 reviews at the time of writing now, but so far it's sitting at a 74 on Metacritic and a 73 on OpenCritic. The general consensus for WWE 2K18 is that it provides a deep, fun experience with sound wrestling mechanics, but struggles from a technical standpoint, needs more variety, and has a lackluster career mode. IGN wrote in its 7 out of 10 review, "Under the better-than-ever graphics and great-as-ever core wrestling gameplay, WWE 2K18 is a largely disappointing iteration. It wastes too much of its ambition on the poorly written and dull My Career RPG mode, leaving its other promising modes to languish for another year. What few enhancements we get to the carry mechanics and 8-person matches are welcome, but not as much of a year-over-year refresh as would be needed to keep the excitement level as high as it's been in past years." Alright, so if you're thinking about getting it, take that for what it's worth. Gamers have been excited about Minecraft's big cross-platform initiative with Better Together, but unfortunately it looks like there are some growing pains for its console release. Eurogamer reports that, for one, it's not just an update to the current Xbox One and Switch versions of the game, it's a separate app entirely. And 2, the traditional console interface has disappeared, replaced with something that looks like it's been made for touch screens instead. So you can probably thank Pocket Edition for that. There's also the matter of the in-game store, which Eurogamer called intrusive at best, which is not great. There's currently a separate site set up for users to deliver feedback, and it is filling up with tons of requests for fixes that should be added to the game. So, looks like that cross-platform paradise everyone envisioned between PC and Xbox One and Switch and Pocket Edition and everything, because it's on refrigerators now probably. It's not quite there yet as Minecraft is concerned, so you may potentially want to give it some time before going all in. Hey, better late than never though, right? I mean, that looks like 343 is taking that approach because they may finally be fixing the Master Chief Collection with the help of a beta. Look, I don't make the news, I just read it, and I understand that this sounds like it cannot be real. The developer announced this yesterday during a live stream along with the reveal of an Xbox One X update for the games, presumably bringing them to 4K. Since they're getting in there and tinkering around under the hood, it seems like they decided they, might as well address the game's brokenness while they're at it, and also will be launching a testing beta of sorts so the community can help them with reporting problems. The testing for the game that's already out and has been for a while now will begin in spring of 2018. Are Gen 3 Pokemon coming to Pokemon Go? That's pretty exciting, and it could happen as soon as Halloween, according to a data mine and a leaked image pulled from the iOS store that shows Pikachu wearing a witch hat. Super cute. Meanwhile, data miners found some 3rd generation Pokemon in the game, including Duskull, Dusknoir, Shuppet, Sableye, and Bennett. Nothing's been officially confirmed, but we do know there's a Halloween event planned, and the Pokemon Company announced the event would have new Pokemon for players, so here's hoping. That seems like pretty strong signs, right? Now, we're starting to get reviews for Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch, and they're so. The game is currently sitting at a 73 on Metacritic and a 74 on OpenCritic, which indicates pretty average reviews. The game is a departure from the turn-based strategic combat the franchise is known for, and instead features Dynasty Warrior style hack-and-slash combat featuring classic Fire Emblem characters like Chrome and Marth. Frankly, if you played or enjoyed Hyrule Warriors, you kind of know what you're getting into with that sort of crossover at this point. GameSpot gave it a 6 out of 10, saying, apart from feeling somewhat shallow, Fire Emblem Warriors plays smoothly and it's enjoyable to watch favorites like Chrome, Marth, and Lindis break free from their turn-based ways to slay massive swarms of low-level enemies in real time. But also criticized the lack of some notable fan favorites like Alm and Ike and Roy. God is a Geek, though, gave it an 8 out of 10, saying, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, this is a no-brainer. It obviously has some of the Warriors game quirks, and if you aren't into those, maybe avoid it, but it'll be a treat for fans. And the game releases this Friday if you're considering picking it up. Ever wondered what Pikachu would sound like? I mean, if he's saying something besides Pika. Well, the Detective Pikachu movie is looking at some pretty big stars for the movie's main role, and stay with me here, it gets weird. According to the YouTube channel That Hashtag Show, Studio Legendary Pictures is looking at Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Mark Wahlberg, and Dwayne Johnson to be the voice of Pikachu. Sounds pretty preliminary considering they haven't met with any of the actors about the role, so this may be news to those guys as well, but the movie's set to begin production in London early next year, and based on any of those actors, this is gonna be a weird movie. A major World of Warcraft Legacy server has shut down amid some big-time drama and allegations that one of the team members embezzled thousands of dollars. The server, called the Elysium Project, apparently disbanded after 2 members of the team were accused of shadiness. Some former team members said in a statement that one member allegedly took more than $2,000 from donations in PayPal for the project and then used the money for personal reasons. They also claimed that the member and another were involved in a gold selling operation. The 2 players, known as Sheena and Krog, later responded and basically confessed and apologized. The other members say they're starting a new legacy project called Light's Hope, and hopefully no one will steal from that one. In a big battle of giant robots, you know, the one that's been going on between the US and Japan, and they've been taking years to get it together. Well, guess what? It happened. We have a winner, and it's the USA. The fight was billed as the world's first giant robot duel between the Megabots team representing the US and Japan's Suidabashi Heavy Industry. It was a fight that's been years and years and years in the making, and while some say it was all scripted, the US team came out on top after 3 rounds of sometimes very slow action. But in the final round, USA's Eagle Prime used a chainsaw to chop up its Japanese rival, so that's pretty awesome. Someone get that robot in an action movie, stat. Oh, and kind of weird, the US used 2 robots in the fight, so maybe had a little bit of an advantage. But guess what? We won, and that's robot fighting. And so there were probably eagles crying in the distance. Ah! Anyway, that's the news for this roundup. Let us know what you think of all of these stories in the comments down below. To make sure you get news from every corner of the internet every weekday, like this video. If you're new around here, consider subscribing to the know. All the robots will, all the robot fight. Every robot was kung fu fighting. The general consensus for WWE 2K18 is that it provides a deep, fun experience with sound wrestling mechanics, but struggles from a technical standpoint. And needs, goddamn, I'm so sorry.